We got one more thing to talk about. It sounds really boring. I promise it's not. Um, and that's elasticity, which it's not really what it is, but it's basically how steep are these supply curves and these demand curves. Um, because it really winds up making a big difference. Um, so, for example, right here, you've got your a demand curve, but it's a lot flatter than the ones that we've been drawing. Um, Now, basically, what this means is if we decrease the price just a little bit, we have this huge increase in the number of people who buy the good. And vice versa, if we raise the price a little bit, there's this huge decrease in the people who are buying the good. Now, some examples of when this might happen is something where there's a lot of substitutes. Something where if you change the price even a little bit, I'm just going to buy the other thing instead. Um, or something like cell phone games that, yeah, I have fun with, but I don't really need. It's not really a necessity. So just a teeny change of price is going to change my behavior a lot. Um, so that's elastic demand. Down here we have inelastic demand. Inelastic demand means it's something that's not going to change a lot based on a change in price. So this huge drop in price, I only see quantity increase a little bit, and vice versa. Like raise the price a ton and people are still buying it. This is going to be like necessities or addictive substances like tobacco, healthcare. Um, Y'all, I mean, I've paid, you know, thousands of dollars on an ER visit for my son that he probably didn't need. But I paid it because that's the most important thing to me is keeping my kids alive and healthy. Um, so healthcare, generally we see inelastic demand. Um, now, um, why this is important is that when we change supply, this is going to interact a lot differently than what we've seen before. So let's say this is our old supply, this is our new supply. So it's just an increase in supply. And an increase in supply, we usually have increased quantity, decreased price. And that's what we have here. The difference is we see this huge increase in quantity and just a tiny decrease in price, okay, for goods that are elastic. For demand that is inelastic, we see a slight increase in quantity and this huge decrease in price. An example of where that would come into play is if all of a sudden you taxed stuff like tobacco, something that's more of a necessity, you're going to see this huge tax, and it's going to decrease people's consumption of tobacco a little bit in the short run, but not a ton because they're addicted to it. They're going to buy it almost no matter what the price. We also have elastic supply, which is where we're a little change in price is going to change how much we supply. That's going to happen with very simple things that are simple to produce. But things that are complicated to produce or stuff that there's like a fixed capacity, we're going to see supply stay inelastic. Like it barely changes no matter what the price is. And when you have stuff like this, it's stuff like a stadium, you're going to want to fill up that stadium. So if we're able to charge this and fill up the stadium, we're going to do it. If we're going to charge this and fill up the stadium, well, that's what we're going to charge. So like if demand increases, you're not going to see a bunch more people going to this sports game. You're just going to see a big price increase on the tickets. A real easy way to remember whether you're looking at something that's inelastic or elastic is an I looks like this. An E looks like this. So anything you see that looks like this, that's an inelastic graph, whether it's demand or supply. Anything you see that looks like this, that's elastic, whether that's demand or supply. I have a lot more to say about this, but I'm not going to because I already talked too much. All right, I'll catch y'all later.